May 2nd, Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius. Markets are on edge. All right, so let's take a look at the charts here. But good morning and good evening, crypto astronauts, depending on where you're tuning in from. And welcome back to the Bitcoin and crypto paradise. We also talk a lot about astrology on here. We're going to be talking about Pluto. So please subscribe as I put out these high value videos for free almost every single day. I'll be coming out with a lot more Bitcoin astrology videos and content like this where I go over the astrology. But none of this content is financial or investment advice. When we talk about the markets, this content is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Okay, let's dive into the astrology. So take a look at this. We have the Earth here. We have this little guy Pluto all the way back here. Now Pluto wasn't discovered, I believe, until the 1700s. And so, but it has a pretty significant effect on the world, human consciousness, our lives, and I'm going to go into detail about what Pluto represents. And so it's going to go retrograde on May 2nd, coming up very soon. Just to show you a visual here, Earth is going to be spinning around on this axis here. As you can see, when Earth goes left, it's going to create the illusion that Pluto is moving to the right. All right, so as Earth goes around here, you can imagine from our point of view, it's going to create an illusion. You know, we live on Earth and it's the center of our reality. We don't know that we don't necessarily experience ourselves spinning around the sun. But we, so from that point of view, it looks like Pluto's going left, and that's when that's what we call retrograde. Okay, so it's basically just kind of a shift in momentum, a shift in perception that can impact our lives. And so let's dive into what Pluto represents. Pluto represents transformation, endings and beginnings, big changes. And it can represent a big market shift in the markets, turning a corner. And for your personal life, whichever house Pluto is in your natal astrology chart, you'll have to face more of the past and reflect more on what's hidden or not dealt with that you still need to go back and face. Pluto can represent our fears, can represent survival, facing extremes, extreme emotions, the unconscious, manipulation, sex, power, and transformation. So these are all themes that we may need to reflect on for the next few months as Pluto goes retrograde. And Pluto is going to retrograde back into Capricorn. This is, let me look at this here. Pluto's right here, as you can see. And as we continue in the upcoming weeks, the numbers are going to turn red. That means it's going retrograde in Aquarius. But then Pluto is going to eventually switch signs on September 1st. It's going to go into Capricorn here. As you can see, it switches signs. Capricorn represents the old systems and structures, corporations, governments, bureaucracy, top-down powers. And as we head towards Capricorn, it could uncover more of society's deep feelings about Bitcoin and potentially more regulations to come for crypto. Yay! Nobody's excited about that. Because in Capricorn, Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn can represent regulations. At this point, Saturn will still be in Pisces retrograding, so man, there is a chance we could see more themes with regulations. Good times, y'all, good times. With the SEC coming in to potentially try to regulate more, things of that nature. Will Bitcoin have to again face issues around sustainability with proof of work? Because if we look at the Bitcoin chart, it's the chart in the middle here. We have Pluto has been transiting in the Bitcoin sixth house. Sixth house can represent our daily habits and our health. And that could really represent proof of work. And so Pluto in here could be, as it retrogrades, and it's in the sign of Aquarius, which is about society and humanity and groupthink. Could more narratives. I'm sure there's going to be more narratives. Possibly more attacks on Bitcoin, more attacks on crypto. And we could have more narratives around, oh, Bitcoin's not sustainable. I could see, people in the government talking about this. Elizabeth Warren, most likely. Issues with sustainability with crypto. We don't like it, and all this kind of stuff. Could see a lot of narratives around that. Okay, let's look a little bit at the Bitcoin astrology. That's what we do on this channel. What we have coming up, this is very interesting. On the day Pluto goes retrograde, marking a big shift, a shift in momentum, we see Uranus squaring the Bitcoin Neptune. It's happening on May 2nd. Very, very interesting. That's quite negative, and that's why I've been saying the past few videos I've been making, I've been repeating it over and over and over. We could see Bitcoin bottoming out there, potentially creating a low, because that's quite negative. And this could mark a shift in the market. Okay. Let's take a look at the chart. One thing that's very interesting, we have just gone below this previous swing bottom here. The last week we've been just heading down, down, down. We almost saw a glimmer of hope there where we headed up here, but we've been heading down and we've just gone below this swing bottom. And the past few videos I've been predicting that we could be heading down a little bit further, perhaps around the 60,000 or 59,000 level before we bounce back up. And that is the bullish scenario right there. That's what I'm thinking. And if we look at altcoins, I've been keeping my eye on the altcoins. These are all the altcoins excluding stablecoins and excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is still bullish. We hit this bottom here. We made a higher low. And we're still at a higher low here. And we could even go, if we continue down, we could even go down to around this line. And if we bounce off there, we're still golden. Now, who knows? We could even go down like that and put massive fear in the markets before we start stair-stepping up. And that would still be bullish. Say the main bearish scenario is we start going down and we break through these levels. Then we could head back down further there, and that would obviously be bearish, and that could lead into a cruel summer. Oh, cruel summer. Or however that song goes. Don't sing very much on this channel. Maybe I should do that more often. It's kind of fun. Okay, let me know in the comments how my singing voice is. No, I'm just kidding. Let's look at the strongest Solana. This is one of the strongest altcoins here. Let's look at a cleaner version. Solana's still sitting up pretty, not too bad. I mean, if it dumps a little bit lower, that's still fine. As long as we start heading up. We just don't want to go, we don't want to go below 120 for Solana. 121 around there. So, yeah. We're definitely seeing, I mean, one thing that's interesting is, so we only got a couple days until Pluto goes retrograde. Could that mark the shift right here? when we start heading up? What is this shift going to represent? Is it just going to represent this big dump that we had here, and then we start going back up? Or is Pluto going to represent a much more bearish scenario where it's going to start a cruel summer like that? It's kind of tough to say, but a lot of this depends on the macro markets. The S&P 500, what are we doing here? S&P, you know, dumped up here. We saw a 5% dump. It could continue for a bit more. We'll see. The good news is we just saw this rebound here. Now, are we going to see another dump before we recover? That's certainly possible. I can't say that's not possible. Or are we going to continue up from here? It's tricky to say. But we've already gotten this major move up. So I can't say there's a lot more to go. In fact, we could definitely be heading towards the end here. We could even see choppy action like this. It's tough to say. But it's a little bit hard to be super, super bullish when we've already made such a big move ever since October. Such a massive move up there. Tricky. The DXY is sitting up here, hitting some levels of resistance around the 0.786 level here with the Fibonacci from the peak right there to the low here. So that, I mean, if the DXY rolls over and we start heading down, then crypto, that'll be bullish for crypto. But if the DXY gets some more life in it and we start heading up here and we go like that, then that's really not going to be good. But, I mean, we could also bounce off of this 50% level and then head down, and that could be bullish long term for the summer. A little bit tricky. We're going to just have to keep our eyes on these charts. All right, I can't just tell you exactly what's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball. We're just going to have to watch and see. But we could, as long as we get that bounce off of here, we could still be golden. All right. Let me tune into the comments. Have watched a lot of your videos. Okay, thanks for watching. So thought it would be fair to subscribe. Beautiful. Yeah, for those who haven't subscribed yet, definitely click that button, okay? It'll really, really support the channel. Thank you so much. Love the free astrology analysis, bro. Think we are going to bottom soon, maybe this week. Yep, it's a definite possibility. I'm leaning towards that way. But I do have my stop losses. And for those who are interested with some risk management, you know, I'm thinking about putting my stop losses in, you know, this is the altcoin market, so just think of altcoins. Put my stop loss around there. And so if we head down lower, then I'll get stopped out. I'll sell right there. And then I'll have to see what happens next. Because if we bounce back up, I would definitely want to buy back in. But if we headed down lower, then of course I would wait for a lower price to buy. So risk management is very important. Who has risk management? Let me know in the comments below. It's very, very important, especially in these crypto markets. All right, well, thanks so much for tuning in. Be coming out with many more astrology videos, especially crypto astrology, talking about the markets and talking about astrology. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Let me know what questions you have in the comments below, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.